Hello and welcome back to this video series in which I'll be walking you through the Forma platform step by step. You're watching Autodesk Forma from the ground up and I'm Anne van den Borre, Technical Specialist in Construction here at Autodesk. In the previous session, we focused on basic file uploads, standard attributes and file version compare. Today we're picking up where we left off and looking at the different ways to upload AutoCAD DWG files, along with how to manage the Xrefs connected to their host drawings. What do we have on the agenda today? Two example scenarios. We'll walk through two workflows in which a lead draftsman prepares host and linked files locally on a laptop. We'll look at the different upload methods and what they mean for file viewing in Forma and continued work in AutoCAD. We'll explain what Desktop Connector is and the role it plays in this workflow. And to finish up, we'll briefly explain how to upload DWG files directly to Forma from AutoCAD without using a local intermediate step. As you see, there's quite a bit to cover, so I'll walk you through a shorter version of the key findings and best practices. If you'd like to dig deeper, you can find a more detailed version on YouTube, including demos in both Forma and AutoCAD. I'll share the link in the comments. In scenario 1, a single draftsman creates the base drawings, stores them together in one local folder on a laptop, and links them before upload. In this setup, we have two types of links. Link 1 uses a relative path and is added as an attachment. Link 2 uses an absolute path and is added as an overlay. Once everything is prepared, the files are uploaded to Forma. When uploading to Forma, the first option is simple. Just select all files and drag and drop them into Forma, just like we saw earlier. The second option is to use the Upload button and select the Upload linked files. And you will see that while we do this, a dialog box appears that allows you to choose the host file. Keep in mind, you can only select one host file. Once the files are uploaded, we can view them individually in Forma in the viewer. But when viewing the host file, the results depend on the upload method. Where we use the drag and drop, the host file opens, but none of the linked files are visible. And where we used upload linked files, the host file includes all references, both relative and absolute. So the second method clearly gives a more complete result in the viewer. Of course, the goal is for the rest of the team to continue work with these files in AutoCAD. Once Desktop Connector is installed, in AutoCAD we get direct access to our Forma projects. So from there, we simply navigate to the right project and open the host drawings. In both cases, everything works as expected. The host file opens, all linked files are available. Now, it needs to be said that this actually has less to do with the way the files were uploaded to Forma and more to do with how AutoCAD itself handles missing Xrefs. AutoCAD always checks the host files folder first when searching for missing links. This is simply standard functionality in AutoCAD. Now, before moving to scenario 2, let's take a quick look at what Desktop Connector actually is. Desktop Connector is a program that runs on your desktop and it creates a virtual drive that acts as a bridge between the local file system and data in the Autodesk Cloud. Once installed, you can read or write files to those virtual folders on your local drive, and those changes will automatically sync to the cloud. So it's actually similar to how Microsoft OneDrive works. Now we know more about Desktop Connector, let's check scenario 2. In scenario 2, the lead draftsman once again prepares the drawings locally on a laptop, but this time the files are arranged in a different folder structure. The host file is stored in a main folder and the linked files are placed in a subfolder. Again, we use both relative and absolute paths. Let's check what this setup will bring when the files are uploaded to Forma and viewed in Forma or reopened in AutoCAD for continued work. The methods from scenario 1 no longer work because we're dealing with the full folder structure. So no drag and drop directly to Forma, no upload button. This is where Desktop Connector comes in. And here is how it works. I first navigate to my project in Forma. At the same time, I open the same location in Desktop Connector. That's Desktop Connector / Windows Explorer. So I'm essentially looking at the same data in two different views. Next, I drag the entire folder structure prepared by our lead draftsman into the desktop connector location. And yes, in desktop connector, I can copy complete folders using drag and drop. At that point, I get two options: copy here and upload with references. If I choose the upload with references, I get a confirmation dialog. I can review the folder structure, and Forma correctly recognizes all linked files. After upload, everything appears correctly in both the desktop connector version in Windows Explorer and Forma in the cloud. If I choose copy here, the upload starts immediately. There is no confirmation or validation, and the folder structure in the end looks the same. But what about the behavior? Will that be actually the same? When we open the host file in Forma, with upload with references, all links are present. Where we used copy here, only the relative links are available. So in the second case, actually the file is incomplete. We see the same behavior in AutoCAD. Also in AutoCAD, the files uploaded with upload with references are complete, but those uploaded with copy here have missing links. Now, the good news is, of course, in AutoCAD, we can fix missing references using the Xref manager and the direct access to Forma. Besides using Desktop Connector in Windows Explorer, we can also use the Desktop Connector desktop tool to upload DWG files with Xrefs. You'll find this tool at the bottom right corner of your desktop under the hidden icons. Just click the D icon to open it. It gives us several options. For example, we can add or remove projects from the list in Explorer, just like we did earlier when setting up our connection. But in this case, we will choose for Upload with References. From here, I can quickly select a group of DWG files. In the summary, we see that this tool takes care of everything, both on Forma and in AutoCAD. Before we move on to the final conclusions, I would like to raise one last point to round off our story. Of course, once Desktop Connector is installed, a draftsman can also save files created in AutoCAD directly to Forma. There is no need to save locally first, as we have a direct connection to the Forma cloud location from within the Save Drawing As dialog box in AutoCAD. And to wrap up, we can identify some key takeaways. Always use relative paths when linking Xrefs. It doesn't matter whether to use attachment or overlay, or at least not when uploading them to Forma. And for reliable results, use Desktop Connector or an upload method that supports references. And as a best practice, I can add that it's advised to remove the local copies after upload to Forma to avoid confusion and reduce the risk of working from outdated files. This brings us to the end of the fourth session. Our time's up. Thank you and see you soon.